What's up guys, it's me, Straw Hat Nate, and I'm back with another One Piece chapter review. This week we got chapter 1109 of One Piece titled Termination. So that must be referring to the Gorosei trying to terminate Vegapunk's message to the world. So last chapter finished with that crazy cliffhanger of Vegapunk about to reveal the secrets of the world to everybody. So you would think that this one would start with these revealed secrets, but that's not Oda's style, unfortunately. This entire chapter does not reveal any big world secrets yet, but there's still plenty of good content other than this. Something I did correctly predict we would see in this chapter is that we would see reactions to Vegapunk's message. We get kind of reactions, but they're more like preparations for their upcoming reactions. And we see a lot of old friends from the entire history of One Piece. Also, a really big thing that happens, Luffy 1v2s Saturn and Kizaru, so that's hype. And the chapter also ends with a brand new hype cliffhanger that is debatably more crazy than the last one about Vegapunk's message. I'll talk about that cliffhanger later in this video, so let's get into this chapter after you like this video and subscribe to the channel. To start, like always, I'll mention the cover, and you'll never believe what the cover is this week. We are finally starting up another cover story after a year of waiting, and I've been waiting because I love how the recent cover stories connect to the main present One Piece storyline, with Van Augur and Aokiji capturing Pudding, and this one shows Onigashima submerged in the waters of Wano around the underwater city that used to be what Wano was, and this is also around where the ancient weapon Pluton is. So we don't know exactly where this is going, but we might just be getting Kaido and Big Mom's return maybe. We'll just have to wait and see. We start the actual chapter now with Vegapunk just yapping, since his message seems rather unprepared. And the pre-recording shows Vegapunk talking to Shaka and all the other satellites about how they're gonna release this information. They need to make sure that there's time for everyone to get their transponder snails ready, even those who want to use a visual transponder snail, because that'll probably be the best way to get the information. And Vegapunk suggests 1 hour, which is just a crazy long amount of time that these people in the One Piece world would have to wait. And all the Marines are freaking out on Egghead because they're trying to figure out if they should, or even if they can, do anything about this. And Saturn, mid-fight with Luffy, thinks angrily about Vegapunk, because Vegapunk could release some secrets that'll be really bad for Saint Saturn to have out. And Vegapunk, after discussing with his satellites on the video, comes up with a time, 10 minutes. So there will be a 10-minute waiting period before the people of the One Piece world will be able to know these secrets. And before we leave this scene, we see Vegapunk, and he's presumably dead in Sanji's arms. And now, in Marijoa, the other 4 Gorosei talk telepathically with Saint Saturn, which obviously they're going to have an ability like this. They're the Gorosei after all. So they come to the clear conclusion that Vegapunk made this recording beforehand in order to release when he dies, and they're going to try to stop the broadcast because they have to, but they believe with certainty that it's coming from the Labo phase. And their issue with that is that the Labo phase is protected by that laser barrier, so they can't even get in there. And Saturn, the one who's on Egghead right now, doesn't have the capabilities of getting in there. And during these 10 minutes that the people of One Piece have to wait, we just see more of Vegapunk talking and bantering with his satellites. And now comes the reaction scenes from around the world. And they aren't actually reactions, just preparations for the incoming transmission from Vegapunk. In Dressrosa first, we see that all of the people are freaking out, trying to get their transponder snails ready. And Leo, the Tuntata prince, is gullible, if you forgot. So he still thinks that Luffy kidnapped Vegapunk, because that's what the government told him. But Rebecca tells him to stop since she knows that Luffy, or Lucy as she calls him, wouldn't kidnap Vegapunk. And also, just to note, Kiros is there in the panel. Next up, we see Fuchsia Village, and we get a quick joke about how small and poor the town is, since Mayor Whoopslap says that they can't even get a visual transponder snail because it'll be too taxing on them, and they're just gonna have to listen the old-fashioned way. Next up is Water 7, and we see Iceberg talk to his secretary, Alice, or they say it's pronounced Alish or something. And she is seemingly a genius who is taking care of all of the preparations in Water 7. And I'll note that Water 7 is nighttime here, so Oda is actually taking into account the daylight cycle of the world. And now we go to the next place, and we see Big News Morgans, Vivi, and Wapol in the World Economic Journal HQ. And Vivi is concerned about where the Straw Hats are because she probably wants to see them because that's her friends. And Morgans is a smart man, and he realizes that this message was probably pre-recorded before the Straw Hats were even on Egghead because he sees the clock. And the next few panels include a few random towns in the separate seas, the North, West, and South Blue. And they're all ready for this video because these people really look up to Vegapunk as someone who brought technology to the whole world. And the final one of these various settings that we see is the Kamabaka Queendom. And this is where the Revolutionary Army is stationed, of course. And Ivankov talks first about how Vegapunk's head is chopped, which shows that Vegapunk went through his surgery where he chopped off his head and made his satellites rather recently. And we also see the four commanders along with Sabo and Koala having their own shocked reactions to Vegapunk about to release this information. But finally, we see Dragon, who remembers his conversation with Shaka about Vegapunk dying soon. And Dragon might know that his message to the world being released now means that Vegapunk has kicked the bucket, because why else would he choose now to release this message? And back in Egghead once again, we continue the 1v2 between Luffy and Saturn and Kizaru for the rest of the chapter. Luffy goes ahead and does some goofy stuff. He spins Saturn and Kizaru in his arms super fast, and then he smacks them together with a clap. So Luffy calls this move Booming Dawn Symbol, and this attack literally flattens the two of them like paper. And now Luffy spins his flattened enemies on his finger like he's spinning pizza dough, and then after that he throws them full speed in the distance towards the sea, and obviously the sea would hurt them because they're devil fruit users. They don't actually land in the sea. We see Kizaru first crash landing into a marine ship, and when he lands, he is breathing really heavily, and I feel like he doesn't even want to fight anymore. And Meanwhile, Saturn somehow spins back like a boomerang, coming straight for Luffy, and Luffy just dodges it by doing his cartoon run and getting out of there. But then Saturn says something crazy in the last page of the chapter. He says that he will now begin to reform the summoning. And with that, black lightning starts striking all around, and we see a truly epic panel of Saint Saturn standing in the middle of 4 different summoning circles that look just like the summoning circle that Saturn himself arrived in on Egghead. And this could only mean one thing, which is that Saturn will proceed to summon all of the other Gorosei members to Egghead Island, who are probably just as strong as him. Saturn alone is on or above Luffy's level of strength, but now they're all gonna be on Egghead. And that's where the chapter ends though. I'm still grumpy about how Oda refused to give us the secrets of the world that he teased us with last chapter. I saw an idea that the real reason that Vegapunk is waiting 10 minutes to reveal all of his secrets is because he really plans to give the Gorosei time to come to Egghead so that he can film them and show it in his live broadcast. That would definitely provide evidence that he needs to prove that he's not lying about the truths of the world that he's about to reveal to the people. And returning back to these reaction shots that we saw this chapter, I think these only scratch the surface of the amount of characters that we will see in the coming chapters. We'll probably get much more reactions when the secrets are actually revealed and not just teased like they have been. We're gonna have to wait to see the actual reveal of the secrets though, because unfortunately there's a break coming next week. So if you made it all the way to the end of this video, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe to show your support, and I'll see you guys in the next one.